session we were discussing about event binding in Angular, and in the event binding technique, so we discussed about one simple example on key event binding. So I given you a simple point on key event binding. Under key event binding, so we have options like key up, so we have like key down, so we have like key press. So how do we deal with them and how to work with them? And yesterday I just given you one simple example on that. So a simple example on this. And in the key event binding, I just showed you the key press option, how we can handle key press. So how we can use the key option. Actually, the events, yes. Let me zoom this, fine, right. Right. So in this example, I just created one text box to verify some username and all like this. Now event arguments, as I already told you, so we need to handle the event arguments. We need to handle the event arguments. You need to configure the event arguments. So for example, suppose I want to use the event arguments. So $event, as I told you, event. So for example, let's keep another div here and a class as a form group, and here we are using a label, some password, and I will just give a div here. So input type is equal to password, and in this password field, in the password box, so I need to verify so whether the password is having any capital letter or not. And if it is having any capital letter, then I need to just keep a warning saying that caps is on. So just caps is on. So I'm using the class as a form control. Now in this field, first we need to get the value, whatever the value they entered. So we need to verify that value. First we need to verify the value entered inside this password field. So we have a password box here. And when user is typing the password, and if accidentally some capital letter is entered, we need to just show a warning. So how you will identify that capital letter is entered or not into that particular box, password box. So we need to verify that. And we cannot use key up or key down. Why? Because key up, key down cannot get the character code or key code. They cannot get the character code or key code. So key codes and character codes can be accessed only on key press. Key press can get the key code. So if you are verifying the key codes, then you cannot use key up and key down like events. So many times we need to verify the key codes. And when we are verifying the key codes, you cannot use key up and key down, because key up and key down cannot recognize the key code. So we have to use key press to identify the key code. So what we are doing is we are writing a function here. So first, let's go to the event demo, and we are declaring a property. So username and I will create a password property. This password property we will bind with this password text box. That means we are using ng model, so that is password. So we are binding with the password text box. And whenever the password is entered for every key, so we have to verify. Then I will write a function verify caps. Verify caps. This verify caps will fire up whenever the key press happens. That means we will use key press. On key press, we are using verify caps. Verify caps. But this verify caps need not to understand what password they are typing. It need to just understand the key code. So that means which key they have used. It should understand only that key code. It should understand only the key code. Then what we can do is, so it should just understand the key code. Then how you can send the key code to this particular method? By using $event argument. So by using $event, this is the event argument. By using this event argument, we can send the event related properties. And event related properties, so we have a property key code, character code. We can access those to identify which key they have pressed. So important is you cannot get the key code on key up or key down. So key up and key down cannot be used for accessing the key code. You have to use key press. On key press through the event argument. So we will collect that event here. We will collect that event here. And through that event argument, we can identify the key they have used. We can identify the key pressed. We can identify the key pressed. And we want to display a message. We want to display some warning message or something, like we need to keep that and display here. Then what we are doing now here is I am using a simple message to display. So that is caps on off. I need to show that warning actually. So I will use here another property here, show caps warning. This is by default false. Show caps warning is a property which is by default false. And I will display that. So below this, I will keep a div. So, and here I am using a simple span. So I'm adding a span, and in the span caps is on. So caps is on. I will just define this. We can put some symbols like class is equal to FA, and we can add FA exclamation. We have exclamation triangle. So yeah, FA exclamation triangle. I'm adding that class, so just for warning. And so this will have yes, this will have the class. So this will have the class text warning. Okay, text warning. So you can see that gets that message and display. Caps is on. A warning message comes here, that is caps is on. But this message should not be displayed by default. So then we have to display this message only when the caps problem is there. So when caps entered, that means here we are using ngIf. ngIf, through ngIf, so here caps, show caps warning, this property we will apply. Show caps warning is by default false. That means it will not display it. It will not display that message. And when user is typing the password, it should display the message when caps is on. When caps is on. So that means now verify caps will fire up when key press happened. On key press, so we need to collect that code. So here we need to collect the code. That means if event, so if event dot key code, so key code will get the key code. So if event dot key code is greater than or equal to 65 and event dot key code, so key code is less than or equal to 90, that means so the character you entered is between 65 to 90, that means it is in capital letter. Then we will just keep this dot show caps warning, we will set it to true. Else this dot show caps warning, we will set it to false. Set it to false. That means we are just showing and hiding that message. The capital letter warning message, we are showing and hiding that message. We are showing and hiding the message. Now you can see that. So when you do this, you can see. So here we are typing the username. So it is working fine. So the username, so John, so it is taken, John 1, 2, it is there. Similarly, we are using the password. So we are using the password. So we have a lot of options here. For example, see, I typed this. It says that username is available. Username is available. This message is displayed. Once I finish typing there, so then I need to, once I finish typing there, I need to hide this message. You can do that. So once finish typing there, I need to hide the message. Again, I click there, I need to display message. We can do that. So in validations, I will show you how we can handle such scenarios, because in validation, you will get an easy way to manage them. Here also, I will show you one more option, how to handle them. Here, password. I'm typing the password here. So I'm typing the password. That's fine. There is no problem in this. You can see the password is normal. Suddenly I enter a capital letter, then it says caps is on. So I entered a capital letter, then suddenly it says that caps is on. So I removed that and started typing, and it is normal. And suddenly another capital letter typed here, it says caps is on. So we need to verify the key codes, and key codes cannot be verified on key up. They cannot be verified on key up or key down. For example, here I am changing this event as key up event. So, and you are verifying the key code. We are using the key up event. Here I am typing the password. You can see that it's showing caps lock on, but there is no caps lock. So it cannot get the code. So key up, key down, like events, they cannot get the character code correctly. So that is the reason. So you have to use key press. Because when key is finished, then only the key code can be accessed. Key code cannot be accessed immediately. Character code cannot be accessed immediately once you finish the key. So we need to use key press event. It depends on situation whether you are dealing with key codes or not. So we can just use these events as per the situation. And not only this, so you can also use for verifying the regular expressions, For example, suppose for the password, I want to verify whether the password is strong, password is weak, password is poor, according to what the password they are typing. I need to verify with a regular expression, So then generally we use in various situations. That means this also we do on key press only. That means I'm using here. So verify strength. Verify strength is to verify the password strength. How do we verify the password strength? So here I am defining some messages here. So password message, let's add a property. So password message, and initially password message is empty. So the password message is empty. So and here we are writing a regular expression, as we already learned in the data types. I told you regular expression is enclosed in double slash. Regular expression is enclosed in double slash. And here we need to write the regular expression. So regular expression is question mark equal dot star and square brace a hyphen z. This indicates at least one uppercase letter slash w and 4 comma 50. This indicates the regular expression I just written here indicates that so password must be 4 to 15 characters with at least one uppercase letter. So it can have alphanumeric, but at least one uppercase letter must be there between 4 to 50. Now, when user enters the password, we generally collect that password and we need to verify is the password matching with this regular expression or not. I already told you. So how to generally regular expressions, how to write them. And here we learned how to verify. Actually, how do we verify? String functions I already told you. So we learned about TypeScript and we learned about the string functions in TypeScript. How do we verify the strength? So here we are verifying. So I am accessing the password and verifying. So we are writing a condition. If this dot password is dot match is matching with this dot regular expression. So if the password you entered in the password box is matching with the regular expression, so then this dot password message, we need to display. So as a strong password, we need to display strong password. So else we need to define another condition. If this dot password, if this dot password dot length, password length is less than 4. If password length is less than 4, then this dot password message so must display poor password, and else this dot password message it should display weak password. That's how we write the condition. And this should fire up. So when we are typing the password, that means here we need to write so key up. Here we are using both options, key press and key up. And on key up, so verify strength. It should verify the strength. And that password message must be displayed. So below, somewhere below, I am displaying the password message. So here I want to display the password message. Let's keep a span. And here we are displaying the password message. Now, effects and all these, we can manage them. So initially, you can see here. So we are typing the password. Then it says poor password. And because at least 4 characters it needs, then it says weak password. Less than 4 characters, it is poor password. Minimum 4 characters, it is weak password. And so at least one uppercase letter, alphanumeric, everything is okay. At least one uppercase letter, then it is strong password. Strong password, but at the same time, it is showing a warning to you. It's not error. It is showing a warning that caps is on. So that is just to tell the user that your password contains a capital letter. So we have that message also to display here. So strong password and you have caps on. We can display. So we can display accordingly. So we can display in various ways, not only like this. Suppose many times you can see the password strength is shown in a graphic. So you can display in a graphic meter, and you can show in a progress controls. So you can do anyway. So that's your HTML skills. So how you want to display. That means, for example, suppose I want to display that password strength. So weak or strong. So we are displaying message. So if I want to display the password strength, so I can use a meter control. I can use a meter control. This is the meter control. You can see this is the meter control. So we have a meter control here. So we can define the effect for the meter control. Suppose wherever the meter is there, so meter is there. So width is 100%. Width is 100%. That means the meter width we are adjusting to 100%. In the meter control, we can display the meter. That means we can display the grade meter. Usually, I think you know how to use the meter control in your general HTML. So the same we have to use for displaying. So for example, actually, so here I will use a simple property, some properties here. So here password strength, see, we need some properties here. So we are creating a function. So show strength, okay, show strength. And show strength is a method. It is expecting some values like min, like max, like value, like low, and like high. Generally, HTML meter control will expect these 5 values: min, max, val, low, and high. It is expecting these values. And here, so what we are doing is, so here we are creating some properties to collect those values and use those values here. And what we are doing is we are using, so min is one property, is 0. So max is another property, 0. And val is another property, 0. And low is another property, 0. And high is 0. All these are 0. Now these values, min, max, val, low, high, these values we will apply to this meter. Meter is having the properties, min. Min is coming from min. Similarly, max is also coming from max. And similarly, low is coming from low. And high is coming from high. So meter usually contains those options, high. And what should happen here is show strength. So we have to set this dot min is equal to whatever the minimum value you sent. That means whenever you call this a show strength, you will pass some number into this minimum. That number will be used as the min value. So, and that will be applied to the minimum of the meter. So same, I need to use this dot max is equal to max. Max is our parameter, and we are applying to the meter max. And this dot val is equal to, so val, whatever the value, this dot low is equal to low. And this dot high is equal to high. That's how we have defined. And this show strength is the method which should be called when password is strong. We call that this dot show strength. And this is expecting parameters. Minimum is 1, maximum is 100, value is 100, low is 0, high is 0. That is how we need to pass the value. Generally, if you know HTML, HTML meter controls, so we can show the strength in different ways. So we can show the strength in colors, effects and all. We can show the strength in colors. So we can show the strength in a bar type displaying. So currently, suppose this is show strength. Okay, when it is a poor password, this dot show strength into that minimum 1, maximum 100 and value 100, and low is some 40, high is some 80. That is the value low and high. There is a lot of gap between low and high. Suppose I am giving less gap between low and high, so 60 and 80. And a weak password, so this dot show strength 100, and the low is 40 and this is 80. That's how we define. Now you can see that the meter control, so remember this show strength is a method which is going to adjust the meter control. So, and you can observe that here I am typing the password, then it says poor password, and the poor password, that value must be updated into that. That means show strength have to update the values into that location and get the values. That means the minimum, the maximum, the low and high values must be updated there. And the max and low high values need to display those colors here. So once we will check here, I think these values are not updated. So max, low, high values. Yeah, once I will check here in the inspect. Let's go into the div. Val not added in HTML. Yeah, not added. Okay, fine. Right. Let's add that. Good. Right. So value is equal to, it is coming from val. Okay, that's fine. So let's check this now. Yep. So now I am entering the password, then it says poor password, and it will show that red color for the poor password. So that is the meter, and I am entering the password minimum 4 characters, then it is weak password. I am entering some at least one uppercase letter, then it is strong password. And previously we are just showing that caps warning, so we can hide those warnings if you want to allow caps. If you want to allow caps, we should not use this option, right? That's already we know. Just previously we used that, so we can ignore that. So currently, so we are changing the color here and remove the capital letters, so then it is weak password, and remove all this, so minimum 4 characters also, then it is a poor password. We can also show the value displayed in a length. That means we can show the meter growing instead of showing in a color. That means here we can use the meter growing. Suppose for example, so I'm using the values, I'm not using the low or high, so, and here low and high values are not defined, and let's keep them so 0. So low and high values are not changed actually, and here we are changing only the minimum and maximum values. For strong password it will be 100. For poor password it will be, value will be some 30. And for weak password, so value will be some 80, something like this. And you can see that this time we are not changing the color, and I am typing here, and it will get that. So poor password, that means the strength is shown here, and I am typing some value, minimum 4 characters, then it is weak password. It is not still a strong password. And an uppercase letter will get you a strong password. So it depends on how you configure that. It depends on how you configure that. This is the weak password and this is the poor password. We can show in a meter, we can show in a progress, we can show with colors, we can show with the percentage of the grade happening. That completely depends on your HTML skills, right? So this is nothing to do with Angular or anything. So this is just only HTML. HTML, JavaScript, if you have the knowledge of this type of controls, how to manage them, then you can easily handle them, So this is generally how we manage and work with the key events, how we can manage and work with the key events. So key event binding, so we have options like key press, key up, key down, and we have the options like key code, character code, which key, shift key, alt key, even which key is pressed is very important. So because such like, have you pressed enter or not, have you pressed backspace or not, based on that we need to verify and we need to perform the functionalities. So this is generally how we can handle the key event binding. And I just showed you different situations of working with key event binding. That means while typing itself, we need to verify. And obviously, suppose once you finish this, suppose here you are typing the username, and once you finish this, and I need to clean up. So these messages and all generally, so that is done by using, once you finish that we do by using the events like blur and focus. Actually, by using blur and focus, we can handle the messages displaying. Blur means when it loses the focus, and focus means when it gets the focus. So that means when any control loses the focus, that means you finished it, then you can go into and we can display some messages, hide some messages. For example, here, suppose we have an option. So for span, this is the span which is displaying the username message, username available or not. So I will just create a property. The property is show user message. This is false. Show user message. This is false. By default, it is false. So, and this show user message we are using for this span. That means ng if. So this is show user message. And very important is when user is typing. So when user is typing, I need to display that message, verify user. So on verify user, that show user message must be displayed. So that means this dot show user message is equal to true. That means it is going to display that message. It is going to display the message. Means true. Okay. And once you finish typing inside it, for example, currently you see I am typing here username available. So it says username taken. I finished inside it. I need to just hide that message. Then what we have to do is we need to use an event here. So usually we need to use an event blur. So blur indicates the actions. So whether to display the message or hide the message. Here on blur, I am writing here hide user message. And hide user message, this dot show user message is equal to false. That means user message will be false. This will fire up on blur. So that means here we say, so show user message. So actually that is the function, right? So we have to call that function here, hide user message, right? Hide user message function will be called. That means blur indicates that once you finished typing inside this. That means I said some John. So John 1, 2, it is available and I finished inside it, then it is gone. On focus, I can again get the message and display the message. That means I click on that. Again, I need to display the message. So that means I click inside it. Again, I need to display the message. That means when it gets focus, when it loses focus, we can display the message. So again, when I click inside it, I need to display the message. Then we have to use the option focus. So that means show user message. So we have show user message. This is a function, and this function, this dot show user message, so will be true. It will set to true, and this will fire up. This will fire up. So when you define, so the option focus, then show user message, it will get and display that message when it is focus. So focus and blur are the miscellaneous events actually. Focus and blur are the miscellaneous events. And these miscellaneous events are nothing but generally when you click here, so and we started typing, it will display the message. And you finished it typing, it will hide the message. Again, you click inside it, it will display the message. You click inside, it will display the message. You click outside, then it will hide the message. So that is on blur and on focus. So on blur and on focus. So here we are saying this is taken, and you can see this is on blur and this is on focus. On focus, that message will be displayed. David 1, it is available and it will be displayed. So usually this kind of things we can handle with less code, So using validations. Without validations, we are handling this explicitly. That is the reason lot of logic we have to write. But without writing much functions, right? Without writing many methods, so we can easily handle this kind of situation, like on the message, off the message, display, hide the message, by using validations, which you will learn while discussing about the forms in our Angular. So these are the general things. So these are the important points just you have to know to understand about the key event binding. That means how we can manage the key events and configure the key events, right? So that is the key event binding. These are the options of key event binding. Now similarly, so another important in Angular, so the mouse event binding. Remember, all these are general JavaScript events only. So I'm just giving a simple overview for the people who are not aware of the events. So I just give an overview, because people who know about how to handle all the events of JavaScript, everything is same here. Just only the arguments approach you have to change. Rest of all the concept is same. So whatever you do in JavaScript, you implement in the same way here. Just you need to use additionally ng, if, ng for, and the properties for showing and hiding the message. With the less code, you can manage this actually. Mouse event binding is nothing but, so it specifies the actions to perform when mouse pointer is over the elements. That means we have options like mouse over, so mouse out, so like mouse down, like mouse up, so like mouse move. So all this comes under the mouse event binding. Several interactions we have to manage. So by using the mouse options, so we need to handle several interactions. Several interactions means on mouse over, mouse out, we need to handle several things dynamically. For example, I will just give you a simple example here. Suppose means how these events are handled. So that means mouse events are handled. Already one example I showed you in the previous mouse move example I showed you. So when mouse is moving, already we learned this in style binding. When mouse is moving, we can get the x-axis, y-axis position by using client X and client Y. Client X and client Y. And based on that, we can change the position of any element on our screen while it is moving. So mouse events are so many, like mouse over, mouse out. That means when mouse pointer is over and mouse pointer is out, then how we can manage that, how we can define that. So usually, let's see one simple option I will show you here. So mouse over, mouse out, how we can handle that. Different options are there. For example, even you can control the animations. You can control the animations. So let me add a component here. Ng generate component mouse demo. Yep. So skip test. Okay. And here, so we are defining some events, some simple example how we can handle that mouse over and mouse out. Okay, let's keep this in the startup here. So mouse demo. Okay, so let's keep this in the startup. So mouse demo. Okay. Yep. And let's go into this mouse demo in the HTML. And yeah, in the HTML, I'm just adding some options here, like, yeah, let's keep a div class container fluid. Okay. And I'm just designing. You can control so many things. Suppose I'm designing a color picker. I'm designing a color picker, and below that I just designed a div, and this div have a row. So class, I will just keep the class as a row, is row, and it is having some divs inside this. This is div, and this is the class. So call for, so for, okay, and here I will give the text as red. That is the div we are having. And this div is having an ID red, that is having the ID red. Okay. Similarly, I have another div. So this is call for, this is the ID as green. So, and just keep this as green. And one more, so this is blue. And here we defined this as blue. Okay, red, green, blue, yellow, whatever. So we want here. So we are defining that. Right. Now, for this, we will put the class as uh, just like we define text white. Text white. So we are defining text white. We can use different colors. We can different colors. So I will give here as BG danger. BG danger. Okay. And here I am defining again as so BG success and the text white. So yep. And here I am defining as some BG info. So like style, right? I will use some BG info, or we can define different color BG text white. Okay. You can apply a simple inline style. Info is not a blue color. Just I will put here as a style background color as blue. Okay. Okay. Now this is a simple div with the columns with the colors. So we have that color picker here. We have red, green, blue. That is the color picker we are having here. And style, so width, so as suppose some 600 pixels. 600 pixels. So we are adjusting the width of that here. Yeah. So text aligned, so center. I'll just keep the text alignment center for the content in the row. Okay, that's fine. And this is just margin also. let's add some margin also. We can give anywhere. So margin, yeah, margin I just given as some 20 pixel. Okay. In all directions, the margin will be 20 pixels. Fine. That is okay. Now the point is here, these are the colors. We have red, green, blue color. And we have some sample text. So we have some sample text below this row. So we have some sample text. So heading, so some sample text. Now I want to apply that color to this sample text. When I move the mouse onto red, it should apply the red color to this. And when I move the mouse pointer onto green or blue, those colors must be applied to this. That means when mouse is over, so and mouse is moving on that colors. So when it is changing from one to another, when it is over, it should identify the color. That means when mouse is over this row, that means what we do is we will write a simple event for this. So when mouse is over, we will call a function here. So we will call a function when mouse is over. We need to identify where it is. So we will create a method called set color. Set color is the method. This set color method have to fire up when mouse pointer is over this row. So that means on this row, here we write as mouse over. When mouse is over, so we will call the color set color. And this function should know where it is over, on which div it is over. It should know. We can get that by using $event. $event can know the location. How you can know the location that you are on red color? If we are on red color, we can send the ID of this div. We can send the ID of that particular div. We can send the ID of the div. We can collect that ID and we can use it. We can get the ID of that particular div and we can handle that. So we need to get the ID of that particular. So and we need to apply. Actually, so we need to get the ID through the $event. We can get the ID. So here we will first create another style object. This style object contains color. So and color is initially empty. Style object color is initially empty. Now what we need to do is, so we need to define. So set color, it is collecting the event arguments. And it should get the ID and apply as a color. That means this dot style object. So it uses color. Color should come from e dot event. So but it is not event argument. Target dot id. So target dot id. So this is used to access the ID of the div where the mouse pointer is over. It is used to get the ID of the div where the mouse pointer is over. And you can see that actually if mouse pointer is over this div, so it is over this div that is red, then automatically its ID will be sent into this function. And that ID is nothing but red, green, blue ID values are there. That ID value is collected here and it is applied as color. So that means now style object is updated with the color. This we have to apply. To this sample text. That means sample text should use ng style, and it should get from style object. That means when mouse pointer is over red, then it should get the red color. And when mouse pointer is over the green, it should get the green color. And when mouse pointer is over blue, it should get the blue color. Not only just color, you can get the same appearance. Same appearance means you can get the background color, you can get the foreground color. We can put the same appearance for this text. So here the key point is when mouse is over that color. So when mouse is over that color, so when mouse is over, then it will be displaying that. When mouse is out, then I need to set to normal color again. So like this, you can keep that color permanent. Or I can do one more option here is another option is reset color. I am writing a function reset color. What this reset color have to do is this dot style object, it has to set the color. It should set the color. It should set the color as black. It should set the color as black. That means it should set the color to normal. And this reset color should fire up. So when mouse is out of that particular div, that means we have to write another event, that is mouse out, mouse over, mouse out. When mouse out, we will reset the color. We will reset the color. That means you can see that when mouse is over, then it is showing the preview of the color. And when mouse is out, then it is black again. When mouse is over, it will display that color. And when mouse is out, then it will be normal. So we are defining events on mouse over and mouse out. On mouse over, it is getting those colors and applying them. And once mouse is out, then it will reset to normal. So if you don't use the option mouse out, then you can keep it the same way. Keep it the same way. So these kind of interactions very commonly used. So while working with web applications, we can even control the animations. We can even control the animations on mouse over, mouse out. We can control the animations. Even we can handle the animations. So for that, we need to use the event arguments. And mostly the event arguments. So here I just use the $event. And currently I am accessing the ID of the div where the cursor is present. You can define class, you can define ID, you can define name, you can access through any. You can even handle the animations. For example, suppose, so I am just giving another heading, some mouse over and out. So here I just created a mark you. So I created a mark you. So mark you. So we have mark you. And this mark you has some scroll amount. Scroll amount is equal to some 15. So scroll amount is 15 and mark you is having some images. Image source is equal to some assets, some shoe.jpg, shoe.jpg, and that is the image. So width is equal to some 100 and height also 100. And similarly, so we have some images. We have some images here. So shoe one, and some say shirt, and some jeans, something like this. So we have this. And you can see that. So this is having the images here scrolling. And when my mouse is over, I want to stop them. When the mouse is over, I want to stop them. That means I need to stop the animation of this particular mark you. Then generally we have to write here start mark you, and two functions, start mark you and stop mark you. So these are the two functions we are having, and these functions should fire up. So when mouse pointer is over the mark you, that means mouse over. So then stop mark you, and we will use $event. So $event will send the properties of mouse over, and as well as the properties of mark you related properties and methods you can access through this event. And similarly, so mouse out, I want to start mark you, and we are using $event. Now mark you related event you can access through this EE. And marquee related properties and methods you can access with the target. E.target, marquee have a method called start. This method can start the marquee. Similarly, E.target.stop. So this can stop the marquee. This can stop the marquee. Remember, these are marquee methods. And marquee methods you cannot directly access because object related methods you have to access through target. And you can see when mouse is over, then it will pause. And mouse is out, again it will resume. So when mouse pointer is over, it will pause and resume, and it will again come. So the marquee you can pause and we can resume. So we can do a lot of animations. We can create a lot of animation, like we can mouse over, we can zoom the image, zoom out the image. Such things you will see regularly in the websites when you are working with shopping and all these things. We can even control the animations. But for that, first you need to know marquee contains the methods like start and stop, and we need to use those methods and configure the methods. So these are the basic interactions how you do on mouse over and mouse out. Now similarly, some mouse move, mouse over, mouse out, mouse down, mouse up like options are there that we will see in next session, right? Tomorrow we will see that. Tomorrow we will finish all the predefined events, and tomorrow we can go into custom events now, how to create our own events and configure the events, right? In tomorrow's session, we will complete all the event binding technique. So tomorrow we'll continue with this.